All right, now let's talk to Doug Ottewill from Mile High Sports Magazine, milehighsports.com, Mile High Sports Radio. They're dominating the Mile High Sports scene. Doug, you're joining us via Skype today. Usually you're in here, but you're feeling a little bit under the weather. Does it have anything to do with yesterday's game?
Well, I think the Broncos made me sick. And the other thing is that, last week when I left, I said I had to get to the dry cleaners to get my pants pressed.
Yeah,
and they didn't finish
you're yeah. Doug, what is that?
That's how it'd be there, so I apologize.
Well, what is that Mile High Sports Magazine cover right above your, I guess, your left shoulder?
We love it.
What?
That's the annual Snow Angels issue. It's coming out next.
All right.
Oh,
well,
we love the Snow Angels, man.
Okay, just had to ask.
Look forward to that every year.
All right. Well, listen, Doug, checking out the website today, James Marilat with an article talking about the Broncos defense proves far from great. Talks about all the problems stopping Andrew Luck, the problems with the penalties, failing to force a single turnover, allowing 12 out of 20 third down conversions. Was the Broncos defense exposed yesterday? They're still number one in the NFL in every category at this point. What happened yesterday to this defense?
I think exposed is probably a little bit of an overstatement. I think what they ran into is a quarterback who really understood how to beat the blitz. And I think there's not many quarterbacks in the league that can handle that like Andrew Luck can. And I think that's really what you saw, is someone that came in with an understanding of how to beat it and a game plan with how to beat it. And he was just flat out better yesterday. There's not much more to it. I think at the end of the day, I want to believe that this defense is still closer to the defense that we saw against Green Bay and not the one we saw against Indianapolis. But they will have to realize that a quarterback like Luck that gets hot against the blitz, that's how this team gets beat. Is it a blueprint? Yeah, but I don't think any quarterback in the league can execute that blueprint.
We know in this league it's not easy to win. This is a loss, I think, that stings the Broncos because there were so many self-inflicted wounds. Can a loss like this help a team down the road that shows them defensively that they're mortal? They're not as great. Maybe if they've been reading the headlines, they're not as great as people said they might be?
I think so, and I think James pointed it out very well in his column. I mean, this might be a team that's gotten a little used to reading their own press clippings, calling themselves the no-fly zone. You have Wade Phillips, who's an old guy, taking to Twitter and sort of taking a jab at the Packers. I mean, these are kind of things in sports that boil down to karma. And I think as fast as this defense is, as much talent as this defense is, and as aggressive of a coordinator as Wade Phillips is, it still shows you, hey, look, you have to come into every game with a good game plan, the ability to make adjustments if you're getting beat with what you're doing off the bat. And I think in the long run, yes, I think a loss like this can be good because it's got to embarrass this team. This is a team that was flying high and telling everybody about it. You can't have a performance like you did yesterday and not learn from it. And if you don't, then shame on you.
Well, this now points towards the Chiefs game. It's a divisional rival coming here. Peyton Manning has 2 records at stake, which they could have broken at Indy but didn't. So you got that happening, and you got a defense that, if you listen to T.J. Ward and some of the guys, that is going to come out with a vengeance. So Sunday night or Sunday afternoon should be a great game from the Denver Broncos standpoint.
I think so, and I think the defense should come out with something to prove, and they should come out trying to tell people, hey, last week was a fluke. My bigger issue with this game was that the run game regressed, and as well as they ran the football against Green Bay, and even Cleveland to some extent, they didn't run it at all versus the Colts. And I think, if you start to look at time of possession and the amount of time that a good defense spends on the field, one thing you have to look at is, can you run the football and can you eat up some clock? And the Broncos couldn't do that yesterday. They were in 3rd and long all day yesterday, primarily because they couldn't run. And I know that today is going to be all about the defense and all about Aqib Talib and his bonehead play, but this team has to run the ball at least a little bit, and they didn't do that yesterday. And I think that has to add into what they've got to fix heading into Kansas City.
Yeah, 35 yards rushing, you're not going to win many games, and that's the final stat.
Not in this league.
All right, Doug, thanks a lot for joining us. Mile High Sports Radio. Was it 1340?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. We'll be listening this afternoon.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, buddy.
Get well, man.
Thanks, guys.